Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the Hat and Beard Show. It is Thursday, Wednesday, not Thursday, Wednesday, April 30th, 2025. It's the end of the week here for us. We'll be wrapping up this week with a couple of nice stories that we found here for you guys. We'll be talking about NFL great head coach, could be considered the GOAT, considering all the hardware that he has. And that is after a long NFL career devoid of drama. Bill Belichick begins North Carolina era with messy PR stumble. We're going to be talking over at SI.com. 8 Lions to watch for a roster bubble spot. Some guys that have kind of stood out as potential cap casualties or roster spots. Just not enough seats on the bus to go around. We'll look at that, and then we'll also delve into who Brad Holmes had pegged as his, quote, favorite wide receiver in the draft, and what that means when you look at the body of work that Brad Holmes has been able to accomplish in a relatively short amount of time. He has 2 big names that pop right up off the board. Another who just miraculously had his first breakout plus 1,000-yard season. And then another guy who is his favorite wide receiver in the draft. We'll see how well he pans out in Detroit and what to expect from Isaac Teslaa. But, guys, before we do, would you mind doing me a rock solid favor? Would you mind terribly doing a barrel roll down over into the bathtub underneath the video here? Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. You can do yourself a huge favor and never miss out on any future content. We do go live Monday through Wednesday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. here at youtube.com, and then expanding to a 5-day-a-week show come the regular season. And if you want to be a part of all of that and engage in the live chat, it's already going down. We got Let's Go. I'm chasing Chase. Good morning to you and everyone in the chat. Good morning to you, Chase. You want to hang out with guys like him or Mr. Detroit City? Let's go, Lions. Let's go, you, Mr. Detroit City. Hopefully you're having a nice day down there. And we got people from all over the country. Mr. Detroit City rocking it down there in the Sunshine State. I myself here am in mid-Michigan. We get people from all over the place. East Coast, West Coast, North Coast, South Coast. It doesn't matter. People pop up. But if you want to join and be a part of this ever-growing community, we are steamrolling towards 1,000 subscribers. All you got to do is ring that notification bell so that you never miss out on any future uploads. Like the video, comment down below if you're watching this video on demand afterwards. And then, most importantly, the best thing that you can do, excuse me, fellas, the number one thing you can do to help this channel grow is just walk on over to that share button, click on it, and then this is where it gets really froggy, right? So, personally, I get it. I wouldn't want to be affiliated with myself and sharing this content around on your social medias with all your friends and family, admitting that you're a fan of the Hat and Beard Show. Probably not on your top priority list, but what you can do is you can just go ahead and copy that link down on your clipboard, and the algorithm can't tell the difference. It's the best way to push it out here. So we've been growing, we've been climbing, and it's all thanks to y'all being a part of it. I'm just reading the chat and reading the articles. You guys keep the things going. Speaking of the chat, sitting in Sherwin-Williams, waiting on fresh paint, listening to some Lions talk, baby. Mr. Detroit City, paint smelling extra swell this morning. That sweet, sweet chemical smell of them paints, dude. Not gonna lie, I kind of like it. Kind of like that chemical smell of paint. I'm a big fan of distinct smells. When I was a kid, I always liked the smell of gasoline. And as I've become more of a ZA fan in my latter ages, a big fan of the old skunky skunk smell, and even actual skunk smell. Now, some people are like, well, we can't really tell the difference between one or the other. My old dog who died about a year ago, he actually got sprayed right in the face with a skunk. And once you've been exposed to that skunk smell, boy, howdy, you can tell the difference between, ZA and skunk. Skunk has a very gasoline and garlic smell to it. Be careful. Don't put your face in that can. Or if you do, Mr. Detroit City, put a towel over your head and just deep, really breathe in deep, get the spirits in good, get in touch with your ancestors or whatever. All right, boys. So now that that's out of the way, let's get into the show.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
All right, fellas, we're gonna just stroll on over here to Yahoo Sports, a little big time news that we got. National news, NFL news, I guess you could say. It's the dry season, fellas. and we are trying to lubricate the tracks as best as we can sliding into the regular season. So it's going to be a lot of filler, and hopefully you guys are here to stick around, crack jokes. After a long NFL career devoid of drama, Bill Belichick begins North Carolina era with messy PR stumbles involving girlfriend. Yes, that's right. Yes, that's right. He went on, what is it, CBS Sunday Morning. I think I originally heard someone say it was 60 Minutes, but be it that I was a fan of both growing up and even into my young adult life, I was living on my own, consistently watching CBS Sunday Morning. And CBS Sunday Morning, and here again is Charles Osgood. I used to listen to that shit. I used to watch CBS Sunday Morning when I was a kid, man, and then I ended up watching it as my adult life. So CBS Sunday Morning had a little Bill Belichick on A Life of Football. It's a little 8-minute video here. You guys think we should check it out? I think we should check it out. Should we pad this video out? Pad out the minutes a little bit. Let's go ahead and fire this up. Bam.
Is both documenting his stellar football career and launching its newest chapter. He's talking with Tony DeCopel.
Coach, thank you for doing this.
You're probably thinking the same thing I was.
Now, outside of when Bill Belichick, let's hear it for the padding. I'm chasing Chase, my guy. Outside of when Bill Belichick looked young, I swear the emperor doesn't age. And also, let's just be honest. Look at this guy. I mean, on the surface, it looks like the guy doesn't give a fuck, right? 74 years old, 75 years old, dating a 25-year-old. And look, he goes on CBS Sunday Morning, a prestigious news program, and he just got his ratty-ass old Navy sweatshirt on, man. Doesn't give a fuck.
When I sat down with Bill Belichick.
What's going on with this sweatshirt?
Well, you can see I've worn this one for a while.
I did not pre-watch this. I did not pre-watch this, chat. I did not pre-watch this.
Do you remember how you got the cut here?
No.
Tattered and, yes, often sleeveless,
The hoodie.
Belichick's signature look is part of his singular focus. As he writes in a new book, he's motivated not by style or fame,
New England win,
but by the obvious.
the Patriots in the greatest comeback in Super Bowl.
I never really liked the Patriots growing up, and that was such a kick in the ass, dude, because like I was rooting for the Falcons so hard, dude.
History.
So why, before the career is over, would you write a book called The Art of Winning? You're still out there practicing the art.
Well, I never really had a good chance to do that before. So I tried to capture some of the ups and downs and the preparation and the dealing with star players and the big moments.
You wanted to give back to football, you write, some of what football has given to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's given him a whole lot over a 50-year career.
And the Patriots are Super Bowl champions.
Second all-time in NFL victories.
The New England Patriots have won.
Look how young he was there. Look how young Bill Belichick was there when he first started winning Super Bowls with the Pats, right? Look how young he was.
Super Bowl for the third time in 4 years.
Including a record 6 Super Bowl titles as head coach of the New England Patriots.
What does that feel like in the shower of confetti?
It feels like a lifetime achievement. It feels like you've worked your whole life to get to that point. And honestly, when you win one, you try to savor the moment because in the back of your mind, you're kind of thinking,
Look at that very iconic picture right there. Whoops. Let's go ahead and
I don't know.
back that up a little bit. Doop, 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 doop. There you go. Him and Brady, right? One of these two men was able to detach from the other and go and win a world championship. The other, not so much. Not so much. So the one thing that I actually really appreciate about Tom Brady is that he did it. He actually did it. He stepped out from behind Bill Belichick, from underneath the shadow of the empire, and he did it with another organization, proving, at least in my opinion, that he was the actual catalyst. He was the engine that made that fucking machine go. Yeah, Belichick had good coaches and had good plans and a lot of good players, but ultimately Brady, I think, was more important than Belichick. But the argument is always there. Would they have won as many championships without the other? The one example we have is, yes, Brady would have. He did win a Super Bowl without Belichick and in a different organization. And a different conference, too.
I don't know if I'll ever be here again.
But on this recent trip back to his old high school in Annapolis, Maryland,
A lot of good memories here, and remember some of the things that you learned. Of course, you thought you knew it all then.
The now 73-year-old former NFL coach wasn't interested in gloating about his many achievements.
Where did this title come from?
The publisher, a couple other advisors on the book, that was really their choice. My choice would have been how I did my job or lessons from my life in football.
All right. Yo, I never really did like Bill Belichick. Mostly it was just salt. Lots of salt, 10 pounds of salt coming my direction. But like the way that he talks to people in interviews just cracks me up. Oh, what would you have named it? My life in football.
The result is not a tell-all.
Hey, look.
But what you might
It was Robert Kraft who got caught getting
call
handies at a massage parlor.
tell-some.
You write about not cheerleading on the sideline, but also you're against
Basically, yeah, I didn't really want to put that in the book, but they made me. And you'll see, Chasing Chase has a good take here. You'll see that I think Belichick is being led around by his dick.
inspirational locker room.
And I don't know if it's Blue Chews or Blue Chew Max because he's getting up there in age. And, you know, they do have that new where they give you the best of both Viagra and Cialis all in one pill. You can get a raging boner. You know, good for you, Bill Belichick. But I think he's just getting led around by his dick.
Room speech at halftime. Coach, have you not seen the movies?
I've seen them. Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm not against them. I would just say I've seen very few that were really worthy of.
Hey, Janelle Hall, good morning. You made it.
or
Excellent,
change
excellent,
the
excellent. Welcome,
direction
everybody.
of the team or the game. There have been very few. Most of it really is strategic. What are they doing? What do we need to adjust to that? That's really what football is. It's identifying a problem, figuring a solution, and then executing that, that plan to make it work.
Football is everything for Belichick. His father, Steve, a beloved assistant at Navy for more than 3 decades, made sure of that.
I was an only child. I followed my dad around. If he had been a fireman, I'd probably been a fireman. He was football coach, and so I hung around him, and I did whatever
Isn't that weird how that works out?
he did.
But what did you love about that? Because
It's almost like monkey see, monkey do.
plenty of sons run in the other direction.
Yeah, I think a big part of it was the respect and adoration that they had for him. It seemed very rewarding.
When young Billy went looking for a coaching job of his own,
Young Billy.
Dad had some advice.
You're never going to make any money coaching. You need to go to business school. You need to get a job.
He discouraged you.
He was being real.
But the National Football League soon realized there was something special about this coach's kid. And by the year 2000, Patriots owner Robert Kraft hired Belichick to turn the team into a dynasty, which he did, finding perhaps the best quarterback of all time with the 199th pick.
Why they got to pick that picture, dude? Why they got to pick this? Why they got to go with that picture of Tom Brady? Look like he's ripping a fart. Oh God, or he smelled it. Like, oh God, who stinks?
Of all time,
Couldn't pick
with
a
the
more glamorous picture.
199th pick
Jesus.
of the 2000 draft.
What did you see in Tom Brady that everybody else missed? Because he wasn't the fastest, he wasn't the strongest, he didn't blow you away with his athleticism.
Well, 2 things really. He was accurate, and he was a very good decision maker. He got better every single day.
As he got better, you got better. Did you build off of each other?
Absolutely, yeah.
One area where they are clearly different is with the media. Brady seems at ease in the spotlight.
People had a lot of questions.
Belichick does not.
You heard what Robert just said. It's already been addressed. Maybe you got to go back and look at your
ready
notes.
for Cincinnati.
Well, I understand they have a tough job.
Looking
On the
at
other
this
side of that, as a coach, you have a
not
job to
on
do
Face
too.
Chat
There's times
Snap.
where I could have been more accommodating. I admit that.
Yeah.
You just got to turn the page and move forward. As much as they want to dig deeper and deeper into the grave and see what more is down there, at some point you just got to look ahead and move on.
It's also been a momentous year for Belichick. He was named head coach of the University of North Carolina, the result of a
Because he needs that money to pay for the 25-year-old whore.
messy split from Robert Kraft and the Patriots in early 2024.
He's got a cold, so I'm not going to kiss him.
I have to ask
Ew.
about Robert Kraft because
Also, I wouldn't want Robert Kraft kissing me. He gets handies in massage parlors.
24 years together, 6 Super Bowls. Unless I'm wrong, he's not in this book. How come?
He's not.
Damn. He didn't put Robert Kraft in the book at all? Whoa. I mean, as much of a piece of shit as Robert Kraft is for getting handies in massage parlors and then covering it up because he's the owner of an NFL team and because you have money, you can circumnavigate the judicial system, criminal justice system. Yo, Robert Kraft did give you the chance. I mean, think of him as what you will. Homeboy gave you the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Like, he gave you the chance to become, he's seen in you what you've seen in Tom. And then he gave you the opportunity to become arguably one of the greatest coaches of all time, 1A. You know what I'm saying? More Super Bowls than anybody else. You know what I'm saying? And to just not put him in the book at all, like at all, wow. There must have been some serious, like, bad blood behind the scenes, guys. Wow, I didn't realize just like how that's pretty ballsy to not put the guy who gave you the opportunity at all, not to mention him at all in the book. That's fucking ballsy.
Well, again, it's about my life lessons in football, and it's really more about the ones that I experienced directly.
But he's not even in the acknowledgement section.
Correct.
He's not even in the acknowledgement section. Correct. Like, what a fucking Bill Belichick response, dude. Down in the chat, Jenna Hall, he won't be able to keep up with the new girlfriend. As we age, people need to talk slower and louder. Exactly. And I'm pretty sure that the first time that old Bill Belichick leans into her and hits her with that Joe Swanson, I made a poopy. She's going to split. It seems like you don't like him. Correct. Hell yeah, Chase. Hell yeah. Seems like you don't like him. Correct.
Do you feel like you were treated with dignity and respect when you were let go by Robert Kraft?
I'm going to start just straight up saying that to people. They ask me something, I'm just going to go, correct.
Yeah, well, it was a mutual decision for us to part ways.
He said fired.
It was a mutual decision.
And that's the type of the professionalism that you do kind of like about Bill Belichick is just like, well, he says you were fired. It was a mutual decision. Like, I mean, he's not one for gossip, you know, which is why this, like, stepping out and, yeah, Mr. Detroit City, Bill does kind of have this 0 F's given mentality. He is the man. I mean, the way he handles his business is pretty badass, you know what I'm saying?
Other change for Belichick is 24-year-old Jordan Hudson,
Jeez.
his creative muse, as he writes in his book.
My idea mill and creative muse, Jordan Hudson. Wow, bro. Talk about being led around by your dick. Damn.
Make sure that that's the...
Jordan was a
Oh yeah, here we go. Check this out. Just listen in the background.
Year-old Jordan Hudson, his creative muse, as he writes in his book.
Right here.
Make sure that that's the...
Jordan was a constant presence during our interview.
You have Jordan right over there. Everybody in the world seems to be following this relationship.
Yes, because she's taken off her muddy gold-digging boots and now she's got her dirty little fingers seeping into every aspect of his life. She's going to control everything. Dance, monkey, dance. Gold-digging bitch.
Relationship. They've got an opinion about your private life. It's got nothing to do with them, but they're invested in it. How do you deal with that?
Never been too worried about what everybody else thinks. Just try to do what I feel like is best for me. And
yeah, but dude, when you're literally dating, when you are the next version of Anna Nicole Smith, right? Like, come on, bro. Dude. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of, supporting the older generation per se, but goddamn, do we take advantage and abuse our fucking elderly, man. Hold up, guys. I've seen this episode before. Exactly, dude. And, that's the unfortunately, this is where, Chase, you nailed it, bro. This is the problem that, everybody has is we're all, You should be smarter than this, Bill Belichick. You should be smarter than this. Come on, man. Do you not see the writing all over the wall, bro? Does she not have a dirty, muddy pickaxe and muddy boots in her fucking closet from digging gold all day long, bro? Oh, yeah, I don't care what anybody else thinks. Yeah, well, okay. Okay then, bud.
And what's right?
How did you guys meet?
Not talking about this.
Boom.
No.
It's a topic neither one of them is.
How did you guys meet?
Not talking about this.
No.
No.
It's a topic.
They met on an airplane. Bunch of red flags, yeah. They met on an airplane. They met on a jet. And then they've been wildly and madly in love. She loves her grandpa so... I'm sorry, she loves her boyfriend. Her boyfriend grandpa so much. Just the old man smell, you know? The way he says Davenport, you know? The fact that they make it to dinner by 4:30 in the afternoon. It's perfect timing. Then they go home to their separate beds.
Topic neither one of them is comfortable commenting on, though Hudson has recently posted about it on Instagram.
You joined InstaFace, as you put it. I
Yeah.
love that. There's some great pictures
Colorblind
of you
to
and
red
Jordan,
flags.
where you're a fisherman and she's a
Colorblind to red
mermaid.
flags.
It's charming. It's a different side of you. What's the reaction been like?
What's it been like?
To have these different sort of photos. There's another one where you're doing, I know you're not into meditation or yoga or Pilates. You're balancing Jordan on your feet.
Yeah,
She's doing
weird.
kind of the Titanic pose.
Yeah, so I'm on some of those social media platforms, but I honestly don't follow them.
What he does follow isn't clicks or views,
It's his dick.
but touchdowns, and above all,
His dick. And above all, he follows his dick.
wins.
Nope, his
You do
dick.
seem like you're having a lot more fun these days than you were. And
CBS, see, like, this is the problem and why people don't respect you is you sugarcoat and powder coat everything. You need to say what he does follow is touchdowns and his dick. He's following his dick. It's not rocket science.
other chapters of your life, let's say.
I enjoy football. I enjoy the whole process of it. It's hard to win, and
I enjoy Viagra. I enjoy Cialis. It's a pleasure to win.
it's hard to beat other.
It's hard. It's hard to beat it. It is hard to beat it without that blue chew. Blue chew, Bill Belichick, blue chew. He's got the blue chew for you.
Good coaches, good teams. I appreciate.
Blue chew, if you take my song, that's my song. I have a video evidence that that is my song, and I'm going to copyright you.
The grind.
Blue chew for you. It's the blue chew.
I appreciate the competition. But coaching's fun, and honestly, I feel like I haven't worked a day in my life.
I feel like I haven't worked a day in my life. Fucking. Oh. All right, so let's delve into the article here. Now that we killed a half hour, Bill Belichick has never been one for distractions. The six-time Super Bowl winning news conference and media appearance of the New England Patriots were nearly as famous as Super Bowl wins. Getting Belichick to discuss his football team in more than platitudes was hard enough for reporters, let alone topics outside the realm of his football team history. After all, he's the same guy who told radio reporters in 2017 he, quote, wasn't on Snapface and all that, and that he's not really too worried about what they put on InstaChat when asked about Antonio Brown going live on Facebook from the Steelers locker room. Pardon me. Even after a year away from coaching, Bill Belichick, 73, still answers most questions in that shortcut manner. Bill Belichick made it clear he did not want to discuss his his omission of New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft from his forthcoming book. That's what we've seen. In nearly any other Belichick interview, that would have been the most notable exchange, yet it was dwarfed by the moment that aired just moments later, when CBS Tony Duke-Pill asked Belichick how he and his girlfriend Jordan Hudson met. Hudson, 24, is nearly 50 years younger than Belichick. She was just off camera, and during the interview before Belichick had a chance to answer the question, Hudson curtly said, "We're not talking about this. We're not talking about this." Also, look at the just body language. Look at the body language. Psycho. She's got crazy eyes. One look at you and I can't disguise. She's got crazy bitch eyes. It was an awkward moment after a basic inquiry, especially since Belichick is a master of deflecting questions himself. They both should have seen the question coming. An incurious answer would have been a non-story. Instead, Hudson's interruption put an even bigger spotlight on the relationship. A day after the interview aired, TMZ published a story saying, quote, there were numerous other instances of Hudson butting in during the interview, and she was even walked out of the interview at one point and delayed it for approximately a half hour. The CBS interview was also yet another example of the influence that Hudson has in Belichick's professional life. Less than a month ago, an open records request into Belichick's emails at North Carolina revealed that Belichick asked her to be copied on his emails. Hudson, who was an employee at the school and listed herself as the, quote, COO of Belichick Productions in her email signature. She suggested ways the school could frame the announcement of Belichick's son Steve as the team's defensive coordinator to not make it look like a nepotism hire, and was monitoring comments about their relationship with Belichick on the school's social media page. Wednesday, The Athletic reported that Hudson, quote, played an instrumental role in stopping the production of, quote, Hard Knocks at North Carolina. The behind-the-scenes NFL show was in discussions to document the start of Bill Belichick's North Carolina tenure. The deal fell through. The day after the Athletic report, Hudson posted a screenshot on April 10th email from Belichick to her Instagram account that included as a, quote, receipt with the promise of, quote, full statement to be released later today, end quote. A second statement was not posted to her Instagram account Tuesday. So she's a liar. She's a liar. She's a liar. She's a liar with crazy eyes. Hell yeah. Down in the chat. God, I need to create a stupid alert that is you pretending to be Bill talking about only caring about Blue Chew and football. Only care about two things, man. Blue Chew. I've got the Blue Chew for you. Blue Chew. They should. Honestly, if Blue Chew is smart, they should try and really push the influencer role on Bill Belichick, see if he can start peddling Blue Chews to everybody. And if he fails out at North Carolina, it doesn't work out. Obviously, 74 years old, he's banging a chick 50 years younger than him. He can get an advertisement with any type of any of the boner pill companies he wants. Write him a big fat check. Quote, the book is about how I did my job and the lessons from my 50 years around the NFL, not a bathroom book that highlights my mistakes. Quote, I acknowledge the mistakes in the book, but of course, I fucked up is the catchphrase. I have, at times, reluctantly gone along with the title, cover, and language in the book. I am not going to be the conductor of the hype train in the book promotion. We have enough hype to work with. If Belichick held out some glimmer of hope nearly 3 weeks ago that his promotional interviews would be spun about aspects of the book he wanted to focus on, that high-speed hype train ran over everything Sunday morning with the way Hudson's interruption captivated the public. I'm reading about it. It was a cringeworthy moment. Let's close that out. It was a cringeworthy moment even for those who aren't versed in public relations, and one that won't be forgotten anytime soon, especially if Hudson releases a statement to prolong the news cycle. When Belichick was hired at North Carolina in December, it reasoned that he'd easily master keeping attention on football like he did in the NFL. Yet with spring practice recently concluded and the Tar Heels adding coveted players through the transfer portal, the actual football team coached by Belichick feels like an afterthought, and his book is a footnote. A bigger hype train. His peculiar relationship with Hudson is commanding all of the attention. And just real quick, look at that crazy eyes. Okay, now I want to show you another angle of this very photo. We're gonna walk. Bam! Aha! God damn. Do you see him? Looking right down the barrel of the camera. I'm gonna, crazy bitch. It's a crazy bitch. Okay, this seems pretty clear cut what she is doing. Right, Chase? Right? Bill is the GOAT. You always have to know they are looking for the bag. Always. Exactly, dude. Exactly, bro. And I'm sorry, but look, body language. Bill Belichick, happy as a clam, showing off her, staring right down the barrel of the camera, knowing right where the camera's at, knowing exactly who to give the attention to. All right, let's get a couple more over here. I think we had a couple more. Nope, I think these are the last ones. Her doing that, and then her doing that. Oh, here you go. Bam, bam. Again, right down the barrel of the camera. Maybe change the angle a couple of directions, right? I was trying to see if there was the one. There is a picture where you can see. Okay, so you count. All right, look at you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is she wearing a 6th Super Bowl ring? Ah, yes, Chase, I agree. She has an objective and she's working for it. She does have a goal. She is, it'd almost be better suited, considering she's such a gold-digging whore, if she were to try and go after somebody in the 49ers organization. That way she could be a 49er gold miner and maybe wouldn't have to rely on Blue Chew, the Blue Chew she brought just for you. Blue Chew. But yeah, seriously, is he letting her sport one of his Super Bowl rings? Because I can count 1, 2, 3 easily. 1, 2, 3 on his right hand, and then 4 and 5 on his left hand. I swear she's wearing that 6th Super Bowl ring. That's crazy. It's all fun and games until Brady starts hitting it after they break up. Dude, wouldn't that be some shit? Wouldn't that be just some wild shit if, because, Brady, I mean, he famously got divorced there his last season in Tampa, right? Yo. What if Tom Brady, just to shit in Bill Belichick's hat, hit her up in the DMs, dude? He's got way deeper pockets than Bill. Way deeper pockets. I mean, Bill is the head coach of a college football team. Tom Brady's the minority owner of a NFL team. He's also on TV every single Sunday as the A team for Fox News. And personally, I think he's starting to come right around as a commentator, Marries her. Oh, dude, just like swoops in and just marries her. They elope. Better yet, gets the extra ring. Dude, what if instead, like, Tom, within 2 weeks, slides into the DMs, they elope and get married all, like, within, like, 14 days, unbeknownst to everybody. They just pop up. And and he makes her wear all of his rings. Man, we're crazy today. It's Wednesday. You can tell it's the end of the week. We're slogging through, though, guys. It's 10:30. We're doing pretty good. We're going to roll on over to SI.com for a little, has a son and names him Bill. Little Billy. Names him Little Billy. Little Billy Blue Chew. The Blue Chew. It's for you. Ooh, yeah, Blue Chew. Ooh, yeah, snap into a Blue Chew. Don't worry, guys. We can't find a cure for cancer or even the common cold. But don't worry. Not only have we figured out a way to make sure that the elderly get boners, but now you can have it in a chewable form that brings the best of both brands together in an incredibly powerful boner erecting pill. Excellent. Blue Chew. It's for you. And then they interview Bill, and when they ask him about it, he can say, so Bill, did you didn't know anything about Tom sliding into your whore girlfriend's DMs, and you're not at all surprised that they ended up running off and getting married and naming their son Bill? Correct. Correct. I'm just here to talk about football. We're not going to talk about that. I'm here to talk about football. Oh shit. Oh, all right, guys. We'll get out of the rumor mill and the tabloids, if you will. We'll get it back to professional here. Boys. We'll walk on over to SI.com. If you guys haven't already, please like the video, subscribe down below, ring that notification bell so that you never miss out on any future content, and share this video around with all your friends. It's the #1 way you can help get our content out to the algorithm and say, hey, let's keep this subscribe train rolling. We've been plugging away. It's been a very successful past couple of weeks, guys, and I really appreciate, seriously, I do really appreciate you guys helping out as much as you can. It's awesome. It's awesome. Plot twist, kid is Little Bill's paternity test. Better yet, all right. The kid comes out and just goes, correct. Are you Bill Belichick's son? Correct. Just comes out looking like him, mumbling, correct. All right, boys. All right. Christian Boer, SI.com. One of our favorites to read here. 8 Lions on roster bubble to watch. Which Lions could be on the roster bubble ahead of the 2025 season? The picture boy here, our boy, Netflix, Craig Reynolds. Top flight security of the world, Craig. I don't know if he's going to be a roster casualty unless we bring in some more bodies to compete during camp at the running back room. I do think that Craig kind of has that number 3 spot solidified. Maybe Sione Vaki can usurp it, but Craig Reynolds has been, he's a fan favorite. He's a team favorite, and we like what he does, right? Chase is writing a script for it. Beautiful, dude. Fuck yeah. The Tale of Little Bill. The Tale of Little Blue Chew Bill. Billy Blue Chew. Heading into the 5th year of the Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell tenure as leaders of the Detroit Lions organization, the team has drastically upgraded the level of talent on the roster. Because there are so many talented options, the Lions will have difficulty in whittling down the roster to its 53-man form at the conclusion of training camp. As a result, there will be some players who are unable to make the final cut that could contribute for other teams across the league. Here are 8 players who may be on the Lions roster bubble heading into the 2025 season. And this Broderick Martin is the guy I was trying to think of yesterday. As I was just saying yesterday, I don't know if he's going to have a roster spot. It's, again, what have you done for me ever? Short of having one offseason where you cut a bunch of weight, just like the dancing bear, Lee McNeil, still you weren't able to put it together and manage to stay on the field in any contributing manner. The Lions have made multiple additions to the nose tackle position this offseason, including experienced veteran Roy Lopez and rookie Ty Leak Williams. As a result, Martin appears to be sliding down the depth chart heading into his 3rd season. Originally a 3rd-round pick the Lions traded up to get, Martin has yet to make a significant impact, in part due to injuries. With just 5 games played through 2 seasons, he'll need to make a strong statement with his performance in training camp to firmly assert himself in a crowded nose tackle rotation. The only benefit he has going for us is that we did draft an edge, but nobody that could theoretically come in and compete right away. And Aleem the Dream McNeil is going to be down for a little bit, so there might be a roster spot for Broderick Martin purely out of necessity. Offensive lineman Colby Sorsdahl. Sorsdahl is another 2023 draft pick who could be in danger of losing his spot. After making an impact with few appearances in spot duty as a rookie, he was a healthy scratch for most of the 2024 season. Excuse me. Over the last 2 drafts, the Lions have added 4 new faces to the offensive line room. As a result, the group is getting crowded. With only a finite amount of spots available, Sorsdahl could be on the outside looking in. And the fact that when we talk about the Lions' offensive line, starters exempt, rotationary players, Colby Sorsdahl doesn't even come to mind. 3 guys come to mind. That would be obviously your friendly neighborhood Dan Skipper, the rotationary player of Kyoto Awashika, and I would say Giovanni Manu kind of pops up there, as your rotationary players. Now that Zeitler's on, I'm penciling in Mahogany, right? Just people we have already on roster heading into the draft. Colby Sorsdahl just failing to meet expectations. Too many healthy scratches means you're not quite performing where we need you to be, and the signaling of the 2 guards that we traded up to get in the 2nd and 5th round. Colby Sorsdahl needs to either figure it out real fast or start looking for real estate in another city. Linebacker Trevor Nowitzki. The Lions brought Nowitzki back through a waiver claim after final cuts last year, and he had a solid stretch during the 2024 campaign that included 2 sacks and an interception. However, with the addition of Grant Stewart, the linebacker room is another spot that is getting crowded. Nowitzki has some upside and special teams versatility that could allow him to hold his spot. But with a fully healthy linebacker room, the group is very deep. As a result, he'll need a strong camp to keep his place amongst the Lions' loaded linebackers. Running back Craig Reynolds, Netflix himself, top flight security of the world, Craig. There is no question that Reynolds proved his value when David Montgomery went down with a knee injury late in the regular season. With his knowledge of the scheme and ability to produce in a pinch, he'll be a tough out. However, Sione Vaki showed flashes of his ability in the preseason and could see a bigger role out of the backfield in 2025. But I don't see us going through the duration of the season. going through the duration of the season without keeping 4 running backs. Not saying Montgomery has durability issues, but with the knee injury last year, there is, maybe some question marks. I don't think that's really the possibility. Sione Vaki could hit a sophomore slump, come out flat during camp. A strong special teams contributor, though seen very little action as a running back, and let's not forget that he played safety the majority of the time in college. So although a hyper athlete, does the coaching staff have the confidence in him to have to carry the load in absence of a Montgomery, in absence of a Gibbs, to be the second guy? Vaki does have skill sets that match up comparably well to what both of those two guys do, right? He's not great at either one of them, but good enough. And Craig Reynolds, again, familiarity, team favorite, fan favorite, and we know Brad Holmes shows a lot of solidarity with guys that he brings in. Craig Reynolds, given the opportunity, has been able to excel. A possible roster spot casualty, I don't think so in the long run, mostly because we'll get one more year out of Craig. One more year out of Craig. Down in the chat, flat tramps, exactly, flat tramps. Gotta love them. Gotta love the flat tramps. Carpenter's dream, buddy. Let's go. Where Reynolds could be in trouble of losing his spot is if the Lions elect to keep an extra lineman on the roster. Last year, Detroit kept 4 running backs and could certainly do the same this season. However, with so much talent in other places, the Lions could elect to keep the young running back over the veteran if they choose to go light at running back. We do run historically, we run a very run-heavy offense. We are a run-the-ball-first team. And knowing the wear and tear of a 17-game season, I'd keep Craig as an insurance policy. Unless you can find another guy, bring him into camp. He just absolutely lights it up and just beats out everybody. Beats out Craig, keeps Vaki back at the 4th spot. You know what I'm saying? And then when you come down to it, you're going to have to go who between Craig and Sione for that 4th spot, who has more upside, who has more versatility. Personally, I would say Vaki because of what he's able to produce as a special teamer. We do know that the majority of guys in the NFL are able to eke out careers being special teams phenoms, and Vaki, being if he's an up back, gives us the availability to run fakes at a much more rapid, speedy rate than we could with, say, a linebacker as the up man on punts, and then as well as gives us that extra explosiveness, that higher gear that Craig doesn't quite have in the running game. Offensive line, Coyote Awashika. Awashika is another player in a similar spot as Sorsdahl. He started in the NFC Championship game in 2023 because Jonah Jackson hurt his fingy and was a big part of the rotation early on in the year, but lost his spot after being beat out by Christian Mahogany. If the Lions elect to roll its young options, there are 4 players that will take up a roster spot. If Graham Glasgow doesn't relinquish his spot, 3 of those players and likely Dan Skipper will take the depth spot and leave Awashika potentially off the roster. Another pair. What we go down? Is the Craigs and St. Brown beef real? If so, bye, Felicia. Craig Reynolds, Amon Ra. He hated Saint when they first met. No shit. Well, this is back from January. I don't know. This is kind of old. These are kind of old newses. But, 3 months ago. Okay, so Craig Reynolds. We'll look at that. I'll look at that on some off time to see if there's any validity to that, because I do agree with you, Mr. Detroit City, that if Craig and Amon-Ra ain't getting along, yeah, bye, Felicia. See ya. Deuces. Yeah, deuces, bro. Cornerback Rock Yassin. We did just bring him in. I actually like this signing, a real low-key signing. Yassin signed with the Detroit Lions this offseason on a 1-year deal with a low guaranteed amount of money that could be in danger if not making the final roster. His production has tailed off in recent years and played just 62 defensive snaps in 2024. Played a lot of special teams, though. The Lions have plenty of talent in the defensive backfield, headlined by 2024 first-round pick Terrion Arnold and new shiny free agent DJ Reed. With Amik Robertson, Enos Rakestraw Jr., Avante Maddox, and Khalil Dorsey also in the mix, Yassin will have to be as assertive on special teams to cement his place on the final roster. I think he could easily beat out Khalil Dorsey Avonte Maddox brings a interesting skill set, veteran leadership, a winning pedigree from Philly. Linebacker Anthony Pittman, a special teams mainstay in recent years. The Lions brought Pittman back off of Jacksonville's practice squad last season amidst a number of injuries last season. As mentioned earlier, Pittman could be another casualty with a fully healthy linebacker room. Pittman certainly has special teams value, but he's a player in the similar mold of Ezekiel Turner, Nowitzki, and Grant Stewart. The competition for the final roster spot at the linebacker position will truly be a battle, something we're going to really watch. We are going to be focusing on that linebacker room and the camp battles once training camp kicks off, and we're just a couple months away from training camp kicking off and being ready to grow. Defensive back Morris Norris, an undrafted rookie in last year's class. Norris was on the active roster to conclude the year and wound up playing meaningful snaps in the secondary due to an injury to Ife Melifonwu in the divisional round against Washington. Because of all the new faces in the secondary, Norris will need to earn his spot in his second season. He certainly has the upside to help the defense, but with all the talent in the mix, the Lions may not have the ability to keep him on the roster to continue his development. So there's some guys a little early, right? It's a little early. These lists, once we get closer to camp, more bodies get brought in. These lists will change. Once camp battles start to kick off, God forbid guys get hurt like John Kaminsky did last year, things are going to change. Depth chart spots are going to slide once we get into camp. Once, OTAs, rookie mini camps are done. Once we really get into training camp, we'll start to see these position battles really start to flush out. Once we start to get reports of where guys are running in practice, what squads they're running with, first team, second team, that type of stuff. We'll start to kind of pinpoint, get the feelers out there, and then obviously once the preseason starts, we'll get to see these guys at game, air quotes, game speed, and get a little bit more of a analysis and breakdown on these guys. And again, our positions and spots will slide again, and we'll really start to whittle it down. But early, right out of the rip, first 6 days after the draft, just some 8 guys to look at. Broderick Martin, who we're feeling pretty confident in, is not going to make the roster short of a necessity keep. Colby Sorsdahl, although I do like what the guy has been able to do in Detroit, just can't seem to put it all together and outperform guys. Trevor Nowitzki, I do like, is a local kid. I'd like to keep him around just for that local ties. Craig Reynolds, I don't see Craig going anywhere short of a guy being brought into camp that just outworks him and Sione Vaki. Awashika, I can definitely see being a camp or a roster spot casualty simply because of how high of a level Christian Mahogany played at last year. Yes, there is the spot for Zeitler that brings a little bit of maneuverability to positions and rankings, but when you see what we were able to do in the second round, Tate Ratledge, my guy, the Michigan mullet man, Miles Frazier in the 5th round, which he has versatility all along the offensive line, which could bump Awashika because of the versatility that Frazier brings in. We also have Giovanni Manu, who has been having a great offseason with Taylor Decker training well, has been practicing a little bit more at the interior offensive line spot. So there's a lot of talent. And will these guys be able to outcompete some of the other guys who maybe we haven't necessarily seen? We know what we're getting out of Awashika. He's been in-house long enough to know what he is, right? If he's a C and our 2 rookies are both playing at a B, I'm sorry, bud. It's just the way that the cookie crumbles. You know what I'm saying? Rock Ya-Sin, I do like the signing. I thought it was really sneaky, bolstering the secondary and giving us more special teams maneuverability, adding a lot of competition in camp. Obviously, Reed, Rakestraw, and Arnold aren't going anywhere. I don't think Robertson is going to go anywhere because he has one very specific job to do, and that is twice a year shut down J.J. Justin Jefferson out in Minnesota. Avonte Maddox has too much experience, plays at still a relatively high level, should be able to beat out Khalil Dorsey. So really it comes down to Rock Ya-Sin, Khalil Dorsey, and Morris Norris for that potential last spot in the secondary. I think Rock Ya-Sin, with his veteran leadership and meaningful snaps that he produces on special teams, earns him a spot. Anthony Pittman, as much as I like the guy, it'll come down to that camp battle for the linebacker roles. Will he be able to take one of the final spots, or will he get outworked by, say, Nowitzki? Again, injuries though could derail that entire conversation. All right, boys. Finally, we're going to roll over to NFL.com for our final story. Lions GM Brad Holmes, Isaac Teslaa was, quote, my favorite wide receiver in this draft. And big shout out to Frank the Tank for calling Isaac Teslaa. He called that pick Thursday before or during our big pre-draft live show. And I like the pick. Look, I like the pick. When it comes to wide receivers, who are three guys that Brad Holmes has been able to find? Well, in order of time finding them, he's the guy who found Cooper Kupp. He's the guy who found Amon-Ra St. Brown, and he's the guy that traded up to draft a broken Jameson Williams. So clearly he knows a thing or two about finding good wide receivers, and when you take that Cooper Kupp and Amon-Ra findings later on in the draft, you've got to be very excited if you are a mid-round selected wide receiver by Brad Holmes. Then he comes out and says that he's my favorite wide receiver in the draft. This is coming to us from Kevin Patra, published this morning at 7 a.m. In the third round of the 2025 NFL Draft, Detroit Lions general manager Brad Holmes made a big move, shelling out future draft capital to leap from picks 102 to leap from pick 102 to 70 in a trade with the Jacksonville Jaguars. The target, wide receiver Isaac Teslaa, raised some eyebrows. Holmes was asked which of the 7 draft picks was his favorite in a Tuesday interview with Costa and Jansen with Heather on 97.1 The Ticket. Quote, I do love all of them. I'll give you this, though. The pick that was probably my most question, I would say, was Isaac Teslaa. I can say that he was my favorite wide receiver in the draft. I'm not saying he was the best wide receiver in the draft, but favorite wide receiver in the draft? Yes. The Teslaa pick was questioned due to the high cost of future picks. The Lions shipped their third rounder in 2025, 102, and both of their 2026 third rounders, for the Arkansas product. A 6th-round pick in 25 and a 6th-round pick in 26. Wow, we gave up a lot. Oh, wow. Given how stingy teams can be moving draft picks during the season for veterans, a GM's willingness to spend that capital so freely during the draft causes the noggin kneading. During day 2 on Friday, Holmes and the rest of the Lions draft room wore black sweatshirts with the letters HWS crossed out. The initials stood for height, weight, and speed. Crossing them out, the GM said over the weekend, was a nod to the Lions' mantra that the game film should trump physical attributes and stats. That's right, boys. The tape don't lie. Big money, big prizes. No whammies, please. LOL. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Mr. Detroit City. It's an interesting dichotomy given that Teslaa was viewed as one of the most athletic projection picks of the draft. The 6'4", 214-pound Teslaa scored a 96 athleticism score. First among wideouts who tested at the 2025 NFL Combine. His production score ranked 48th amongst wide receivers. After transferring from small Hillsdale College in Michigan to Arkansas for the past 2 years, Teslaa caught just 62 total passes for 897 yards. He also wasn't asked to run a full route tree during his time with the Razorbacks. The Lions must really trust their film work on the wideout. And until proven otherwise, Brad Holmes knows what he's doing. Holmes suggested that when he moved up for the 23-year-old Michigan native, Teslaa was one of the top-rated players left on his board, regardless of position. Quote, when you think about past drafts and you look into, that's a third-round pick, you guys have heard this before. Not all drafts are the same, Holmes said. What I mean by that, not all drafts are the same. But when you look at the past, let's say 2 or 3 drafts, even including this one, it has not been the same depth of talent. Quote, this year, last year, and the year before, you don't find an Aleem McNeil in the 3rd round. You don't find an Amon-Ra St. Brown in the 4th round. Those guys aren't there as of recent drafts. We're sitting there at 102. Okay, if we stay here, we're going to be dealing with a different level of player based on our board, not on the 31 other boards based on our board. You take all of that into account, end quote. Helping turn the Lions from an afterthought into a contender, Holmes has earned some leeway. However, for all his mid-round wins, he's also struck out making moves like he did last Friday, as many clubs do. A year from now, the question will be how much the Lions miss those 2 third-round picks compared to the production they get from Teslaa in 25. As with all things draft-related, the truth is that we won't know the real answer for years. If Teslaa turns into a genuine threat as a big slot player, no one in Detroit will mourn the loss of those 2 third-rounders. If the wideout winds up as a special teams only type, the trade will look cringy. Those are the draft gambles. You gotta love that 6'4", 214-pound frame. He runs with smooth route running. He catches the ball with his hands. Let's go ahead and watch the selection here. Terrion Arnold announcing the pick.
Packer Nation, what's up? It's 2-0 in this place. It feels amazing. You know, 1 year ago on this weekend,
I love Terrion Arnold.
I cried because I thought I was going to be a Packer. But the Kings of the NFC North came and saved me. Detroit, baby, one pride.
Wow.
Pipe down, pipe down, pipe down. The Jacksonville Jaguars have traded the 70th pick to the Detroit Lions. Let's see who my future teammate will be. With the 70th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Isaac Teslaa, wide receiver, Arkansas. One pride.
And remember, he started his career in Michigan.
So, of course, the Motor City just added a Teslaa. And this kid is really good from Arkansas.
Look at him route.
He began his college career in the state of Michigan, DJ.
Oh, look at that catch.
Absolutely.
One
Someone
hander.
who's a big slot who can elevate and high point the ball down the field. Catches a lot of bubbles as well. Then you'll see his toughness and physicality after the catch.
Look at them hands. Look at them hands catches, boys. Whoa. God damn. Boy pops. Boy pops. Another steal by Brad Holmes. I like the pick. I like the Teslaa pick. I think that's a smart money move right there. The build fits what Jared Goff likes to have in a move the sticks player. Think Josh Reynolds. Think our boy Fireball Tim Patrick. I think Teslaa has a immensely high ceiling and a relatively high floor. Do I think Teslaa comes in and is perennial 1,400 yards, double-digit touchdowns? No, he's going to come in and compete for the 4th wide receiver, nudging for that 3rd spot, even though I think Fireball Tim Patrick has that spot solidified, barring injuries, right? Teslaa will have a relatively lower production his rookie year, though we're wanting to see meaningful snaps out of him, meaningful production, and slowly develop, because Tim Patrick's not getting any younger, into that move the sticks guy. You're going to compete for that 3/4 spot. And in the Lions pecking order, though, as far as the distribution goes, obviously you got St. Brown, at least in my opinion, St. Brown, Laporta, Gibbs, Monty, then J-Mo, then Fireball Tim Patrick, and you're getting all the way down to the 6th, 7th spots for the pecking order in distribution of the rock. So I don't expect tremendous, big, gaudy numbers. I'd like to see, it'd be nice as a rookie if Teslaa could just, no injuries, sticks where he's at, the 3/4 spot. Teslaa comes in, we're talking 30, 35 catches, 300 to 500 yards, maybe 3 to 5 touchdowns. That would be incredibly productive and tilting in a positive direction heading into the future for Isaac Teslaa. So, boys, what'd you think? How do you feel about today's show? We ran through and looked at this crazy, crazy bitch who is leading Blue Chew, Little Bill, Blue Chew, Little Billy, Billy, Blue Chew, leading him around by his dick and making him look like an asshole in his what should be retirement years. And then we went over to SI.com. Good article here by Christian Boer. Been reading him quite regularly. 8 players to watch relatively early now post. This is just a week past the draft, but 8 players that we can watch on potential roster bubble spots for the Lions. And then we went over here and looked at our boy Isaac Teslaa, Brad Holmes' favorite wide receiver in the draft. A bit harder than last time. Hell yeah. Great show. Thank you, Mr. Detroit City. I really appreciate it. Guys, the show is really only as good as you guys make it, if I'm being honest. I'm just reading stuff with my 6th grade reading level. It's the chat that keeps this show spicy and lively and keeps things moving along. You guys have different insights that I genuinely appreciate. So, well, boys, excuse me. We got it down exactly at the hour. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Y'all, I love the show today. Poor Bill won't know what hit him. It's true, but he's Bill Belichick's brain is too clouded by the old blue chew for you. Good old Blue Chew, Billy Blue Chew. Well, fellas, it's Wednesday, which means it's the end of the week. So by the time I see you again, we'll be in the month of May. Now, May starts, tomorrow? Go ahead and enjoy the rest of the week. Enjoy the weekend. And then Monday, we're going to start hitting things fresh because we need to start preparing. You, me, and everybody else in the Detroit Lions organization, from the players, coaches to the fandom, we need to start preparing our minds and our bodies for this upcoming season. If there's one thing that we can do as a fandom, and that is to help support our team, get yourself a little healthy. And I think what we should all do here, especially at the Hat and Beard shows, maybe we should use this off season to get ourselves healthier, and we'll try and maybe look at a couple of different things that we can do to slowly start to right our ship and get ourselves better, so that all of us, you, me included, are at a better physical shape come the regular season. Because if the history has taught us anything, so we're going to have a long season ahead of us. A long playoff run. I'm really thinking it's that Super Bowl window is still super wide open. It's open more so this year than it was last year, considering the number of injuries we had this year. It's a clean slate. Everybody but Aleem, the Dream, should be healthy come camp time. And I think we should be healthy, too, here at the Hat and Beard Show. So, fellas, it's been a good week. I think we had a good few shows here. Appreciate all of you who stopped by, who shared this around, the new people here who subscribed. Also, those of you lurking in the chat, shout out Martin, my guy Cody. They be hanging out watching. They tell me. I know you guys be hanging out watching. I really appreciate it. So, fellas, have a good rest of the week. Stay out of trouble. Enjoy the weekend. Here in mid-Michigan, hopefully we get a little bit more warmer weather. It was a little brisk this morning when I woke up. Maybe Mr. Detroit City can send a little bit of that warm weather that you got down there in Florida up our way so we can warm back up. But don't do anything I wouldn't do. Keep your stick on the ice. I've been Hat and Beard. You guys have been an attentive audience. And until next time, Monday morning, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. right here at youtube.com. Make sure you're subscribed. Ring the bell so that you don't miss out. We'll see you guys then. Bonga bonga. Frig off.